Welcome all of you. This class I am going to discuss about different types of software. Before starting that topic, just recollect what you studied in last class. Last class we studied about how to define a computer and what are the different functional part of a computer. Which are the different functional parts of a computer? Input unit, CPU and output unit. Next, we studied about hardware and software. What is hardware? Hardware is the part of the computer which we can touch and feel. What is software? Software means it's a set of instructions or set of programs are called a software. Now we can discuss about what are the different types of software. Different types of software. Just recollect software. It is a collection of program. What do you mean by program? Program means it's a collection of instructions. So for example, last week in your Google Meet, teachers given lot of instruction to you. That they said you have to complete your assignment, you have to complete your notes in your notebook, daily watch the video, like a lot of instructions you got it. Similarly, we can give instruction to the computer. Collections of instructions are known as a program. Collections of programs is known as a software. Program collection is known as a software. Now, software is categorized into two. See that one is system software, another one is application software. Software is categorized into two, system software and application software. First, we can see what is system software. System softwares are the set of programs to control and manage the operations of a computer. System softwares are the set of programs to control and manage the operations of a system. A system's operation, a computer system's operations are controlled by the system software. Or we can say it is a software which is used to run the application software. By using the system software, computer will run the application software and which control the working of the system software will control the working of computer hardware. The working of the computer hardware is controlled by the system software. Or generally we can say it is a set of programs to control and manage the operations of a system, operations of computer. See that? It is a set of program or instructions to control and manage the operations of a computer. Or we can say it is a program which is designed to run the application program or to maintain the operations of a hardware. Now, system software is essential for the working of a computer. It is needed for the working of a computer. Internally, in your computer, there are a lot of system softwares are there. These are the software which will control the entire operations of the computer. When you switch on your system, automatically internally there is a system software is working there. You know that internally operating system is working there. Operating system is one type of system software. So after the execution of the operating system only, you are getting the final your desktop over there in your screen. So system software is categorized into three types. Before going to the system software, second type of software is application software. Software is categorized into two, system software and application software. Now I am going to say about application software. Application softwares are the softwares which is used to perform certain application or software used for a specific application are known as application software. For example, you know that what is the purpose of Paint software? Paint is used for drawing the pictures. So Paint is an application software. You know that what is the purpose of Microsoft Word? Yes, Microsoft Word is used to prepare different types of notices. You can use it to prepare different types of notes. You know what is the purpose of PowerPoint? It is used to create different types of presentation. So you can say PowerPoint is an application software. So application software is used to perform various applications on the computer. It helps the user to perform a specific task. It is used for performing a specific task. Paint, Notepad, Word, Excel, all these are the application softwares. So system software means which control the execution of the system, which control and manage the operations of the system, where application software is used for a specific application. It is used for a specific application. Now we can see different types of system softwares. The first type of system software is operating system. Everybody know about operating system. You are working with Windows operating system, or you are working with Mac OS operating system, or Linux operating system is there, Unix operating system is there. All these are the different types of operating systems. So operating system is an act as an interface between. It is a software which acts as an interface between user and hardware. In between user and hardware, there will be a person is there. That person is known as operating system. It acts as an interface between user and hardware. User means the person, those who are using the computer. So in between the user and hardware, there will be an intermediary is there. That intermediary is known as an operating system. Or it can say it control and coordinate the use of hardware among various programs. This operating system control and coordinate the use of the hardware among various operating systems. See this one? Every operating system has 4 different essential managers are there. Every operating system has 4 different managers are there. One is memory manager. Second one is processor manager. And third one is device manager. And the fourth one is file manager. There are 4 essential type of managers are there in operating system. Operating system has 4 essential managers are there. They are file manager, memory manager, process manager and device manager. See this one? Process manager, file manager, memory and device manager. These are the different types of managers in operating system. Now, what is the duty of this memory manager? Memory manager will manage the memory. Managing the memory is done by the memory manager. When a program requesting for the memory, so for example, if we are going to store a program with 2 KB memory. So that 2 KB memory is allocated for that program by using this memory manager. That allocation is done by this memory manager. Memory manager will allocate the memory for each program. What is the duty of this process manager? Process manager will allocate the CPU for different processors or different programs, different processors. CPU is allocated, when to allocate, how many time, how many minutes it must be allocated. That is decided and allocation is done by this process manager. So if a program requesting for the CPU, processor will check how many minutes need that memory, need that CPU. So it will allocate that CPU to that program. It's done by this process manager. So what is the duty of process manager? It allocate the CPU to the corresponding processor or programs. And the next one is device manager. In a computer system, there are a lot of devices are there. Different programs will request for these devices. Printer is a devicer. And externally connected, or each device is request, if the program is requesting for any of this device, depending on the availability, these devices will be allocated for that program. When to allocate, how to allocate, all these are decided by this device manager. So device manager will control and coordinate the devices connected to the device system. All the devices connected to the system is controlled and coordinated by the device manager, and which will allocate these devices to the processors depending on the request. Depending on that request, these devices are allocated for that program. That is the duty of device manager. And the last one is file manager. File manager will manage the files. Different types of files are available in the system. These files are managed by the file manager. See that memory manager in charge of the memory. It decides the allocation of the memory to the program. Processor manager decides how to allocate the CPU. The brain of the computer that is allocated for the different program. It is done by the process manager. Next is device manager, which monitor every devices connected to the computer and allocate these devices to different program depending on the request. Depending on the request, these devices are allocated for the program. File manager will check every file stored in the computer. Now, can you say what are the functions of an operating system? Now, we studied all these things. What are the functions of an operating system? It acts an interface between user and hardware. That is the first point we can study. It acts an interface between user and hardware. All the resources are managed by the operating system. Application program, execution of the application program is done by the operating system. It manages the memory. It manages the processors. Devices are managed by the operating system. It is managing the file. Files are managed by this operating system. So all these are the main functions of operating system. So that is all about your operating system. In simple sentence, we can say operating system is an interface between user and hardware. Now we can see the second type of system software. Second type of system software is language processors. Language processors are the other type of system software which is known as a translator. Language processor is also known as a translator, which translate high-level language into machine-level language. So the language is what we are using to write the program. C is a high-level language. C++, Python, all these are the high-level languages. So the language which the user is used to write the program is known as high-level language. So whatever you are typing by using the high-level language, computer won't understand all these things. Computer know only machine-level language. Machine-level language means instructions written by using zeros and ones. After the invention of computer, initially the program is written by using machine-level language. That means machine-level language consists of only two symbols are there, that is 0 and 1. So during that time, all the programs are written by using zeros and ones. So it is easily understood by the computer. So that time there is no translator is not there. There is no translator is not needed there, because it's written, the program is written by zeros and ones. Computer know that language, so automatically it will identify that program, identify the instructions. But later, the users feel it difficult to write the program and zeros and ones. So they will create another language named assembly level language. They have developed another language named assembly level language. So instead of using the zeros and ones, they can use certain terms such as add, subtract. All these terms they use for programming. So after the assembly level language, the next step, they develop the language known as high level language. There are a lot of high level languages are available. So after the invention, after the development of assembly level language, the next step, high level language is created. But when you write a program in high level language, computer don't understand anything what you written over there. It must be converted into another format known as machine level language. Machine level language, or it is known as binary format. So this conversion is done by using language processor, or we can say language processors are a translators. So for example, if our Prime Minister is coming to India, and there will be one person is there to translate his speech. That person, that there is a translation is taking place from one language to another language. Same way, our language processor will convert one high level language into machine level language. I told you machine level language consists of only two symbols are there, that is zeros and one. So the high level language will convert, translator will convert high level language into machine level language. So that is the duty of language processor. Now we can see what are the different types of language processors. Different types of language processors are assembler, compiler and interpreter. Assembler, compiler and interpreter. Assembler means, I told you, there will be an assembly level language is developed. Assembly level language, so that when you write the program in assembly level language, computer don't know anything about the assembly level language. We should have to convert that into machine level language. So assembler will convert assembly level language into machine level language. The conversion from assembly level language to machine level language is done by assembler. See that? Assembler will convert assembly level language into machine level language. And the second type of language processor is compiler. Compiler is also a language processor, or it is also a translator, which will convert high level language into machine level language. This compiler will convert high level language into machine level language. See then, every language has its own grammar is there. When you use English language has its own grammar is there. Similarly, in your computer language also has certain grammar is there. Certain grammar means certain syntax is there. If you are violating the syntax, automatically when you run and when you execute that program, that it will shows the error message. So, what the compiler is doing is this one. Compiler will convert the high level language into machine level language. During that conversion time itself, it will check whether there is any error in the syntax. In English terms, we will say it is grammatical mistake. But when you come across your computer language, we will say it is syntax error. So during that conversion itself, it will check whether there is any error in that one. So if there is any error, it will show that error message to the user. So compiler will convert the entire program into, the whole program is converted into binary level language, and after that it will check whether there is any, during that conversion time itself, it will check the errors and it will report the error to the user. Only after correcting that error, it will go for the execution part. See that it converts the entire high-level language into machine-level language and report all the errors along with the line number. It will check error in each line. If there is any error in line, it will show the error message along with the line also. After correcting that error only, we can go for the execution of that program. There is a duty of the compiler. Compiler will convert the entire high-level language into machine-level language. And the third type of translator, language processor, the third type of translator is interpreter. Interpreter is also doing the same work that of the compiler, but interpreter will interpret line by line conversion. It will take first line, which will be converted into binary format. If there is any error, it shows the error message to the user. Only after correcting that error, it will go for the second line for the conversion. That is the duty of the interpreter. See that interpreter, this language processor convert high-level language into machine-level language by converting and executing it line by line. See the difference between compiler and interpreter. What the compiler is doing, it will convert the entire high-level language into machine-level language and report all the errors to the user. Only after rectifying these errors, it will go for the execution. But in interpreter, it will convert each line into binary format and it will show the errors message to that user. Only after correct and rectifying that error, it will go for the second line for the conversion. That is why executing it line by line. It is written as executing it line by line. So, interpreter is a language processor which converts high-level language into machine-level language by converting and executing it line by line. So, these are the three different types of language processors. Assembler, compiler and interpreter. Assembler will convert assembly level language into machine level language. Compiler and interpreter both will convert high level language into machine level language. But the conversion method is different. Compiler will convert the entire program into machine level language and shows all the errors together. Only after correcting, rectifying the error, it will go for the execution. But in the case of interpreter, it will convert individual line, each line into machine level language and shows the error message to the user. Only after rectifying that error, it will go for the conversion for the next line. That is your interpreter. So these are the three different types of language processors. Okay. The remaining we can study next class. Just go through the video 1 or 2 times repeatedly and study the topic. Okay, all of you. Thank you. Next class we can study the next topic.